Hello and welcome to a bonus 7 stories in 7 minutes. So, big news this week. President Trump has declared that pregnant women shouldn't take paracetamol during pregnancy because it can cause autism. Many of you will know I am an expert by experience and also an expert in autism spectrum conditions, so I was quite shocked when I heard this news, and I was interested to see what the MHRA might say. And clearly here you can see story 2, the MHRA have got a lot to say. So they're saying they want to remind everybody that paracetamol in pregnancy, perfectly safe, nothing to see here. Well, you know what? I've got something to say about paracetamol in pregnancy. In fact, I have something to say about taking drugs in pregnancy. Don't do it. No drugs in pregnancy. In my day, we weren't even allowed to eat cream cheese, soft cheese, #listeria. In fact, we didn't take any drugs in our pregnancies unless it was life-threatening. So for me, my advice to you is don't take anything in pregnancy at all. Fresh air, good food, plenty of rest. As for whether paracetamol in pregnancy causes autism, that's going to be a Debi's Dots, and I'm going to take you through why and what I think is probably going on. But keep tuned for Debi's Dots. Let's stick with the MHRA because they've been very busy. Lawrence Talon, the new CEO, the Bond of the MHRA, well, he's been very busy, and with Julian Beach and Wes Streeting, they've been all trotting off to open the new Moderna factory. Isn't that lovely? Moderna Innovation Factory. And I have to say that this Moderna factory will be producing mRNA injections. Impressed? I'm not. But let's just stick with Moderna for a minute, shall we? Because, you know, when you're watching YouTube and adverts keep popping up. Well, story 4 is about an advert that I saw popping up, and this is it. Our COVID-19 vaccine is now available privately, say Moderna. Spikevax in a pre-filled syringe. Now the price isn't actually on this slide, but I believe it's around about £130. So you can go off and get a pre-filled syringe of Moderna mRNA Spikevax. Which leads me on to story 5, because the Moderna factory's opened. Lawrence Talon's been with Wes Streeting. They've opened it, cut the ribbon, but let's not forget who's at the top of the tree in Moderna, and that is our very own Assistant Chief Medical Officer that was Jonathan Van Tam. You know, do you remember him? He was going to give his mum the jab, remember? He likened everything to football cards, the red card and the orange card. Well, here is former COVID medical officer Van Tam taking a big roll and a nice big fat check from Moderna. Think on it, everybody, eh? It doesn't finish there either. Story 6. You might not have caught this story, it's huge. So DES is a drug that I'll come to in a minute and I'm going to struggle to pronounce. But this is where the MHRA have had to apologise for a huge mistake. Inaccurate statements, in fact. You can see that the medicines regulator has admitted making inaccurate statements for up to 25 years about the withdrawal of a dangerous pregnancy drug for use in Britain following an ITV News investigation. The pregnancy drug diethylstilbestrol was known to be given to hundreds of thousands of women to prevent them from having miscarriages. If, though, the drug was taken during the pregnancy, the harm to the baby, not only to the baby, but the harm passed on to generations, a bit like sodium valproate. As I say, it was meant to prevent miscarriages, but it didn't. What it did was it caused rare cancers, infertility, traumatic births and lifelong complications. The MHRA had falsely claimed that doctors were advised to stop using the drug for use in premenopausal women in 1973, a statement which ITV found was exposed to be inaccurate. This is one of the biggest NHS scandals ever. Have you heard about it? Because I hadn't, but now I have. Talking of the MHRA, by the way, I'm still waiting for the board meeting. So Lawrence Talent, if you're watching, are you not wanting us to watch the board meetings because we're overdue? Story 7. Ironic, isn't it? BBC putting out this. I've seen a rise in people rejecting the flu jab, says a doctor. He's not quite sure, Dr. Aaron Alawalia. He's not sure why people are refusing the flu jab. Why could they be doing that? He says, even in this brief time, I've noticed there are more people declining the flu jab or the flu vaccine who I wouldn't have think would have declined it before. Why are they doing it? And when he's been asked for reasons why they don't want to get vaccinated, he says, I've had some very interesting responses back, but I don't feel they're evidence-based. Dr. Alawalia, I'd look again. There's plenty of evidence, but clearly people are jab fatigued. Quite rightly so. So those are your 7 stories in nearly 7 minutes as a bonus. Loads more news to come out, so if you like, please share. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and don't forget, no matter what the doom and gloom is, keep smiling.